what is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel Butters here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Journey 2. When we left off, we were still in court. We're trying to get down to the bottom of business, and we're trying to figure out the fake gunshot incident or the real gunshot incident. We're hoping it's fake.
Yeah.
And so, the device we used to employ to create a gunshot sound, that time device.
No, the candles.
Yeah, we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the candles. Do the time device. Boom.
Take that!
Please.
Ha!
As of course already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
No.
I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are? Thank goodness, yes! But it is not the case. There was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound.
That's right. There was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is very close range. A matter of centimeters from the gun.
Ah!
Which means that the scorching of the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks?
Hmm.
The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded.
Yep.
Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's not how I was picturing it at all.
Me neither, but it works.
Well, technically, that shouldn't work because the wax goes, because the problem with it is that the wax goes before you get to the candle wick where the flame is. So if the wax around it melted, the firecracker would just keep falling down before it ever reached the flame.
Not if it's tight enough.
But still, when it unloops, it's not tight enough to go. The culprit somehow attached the firework at the point part way down the candle. After the killer left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two. Until eventually it ignited the fuse, the firecrackers generating a loud. Can I just say that for wild things to happen in a case, I want to know who did this because they're a pro for setting up that firecracker to go off at exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or is it just fucking 1 in a billion coincidence?
Like, how many candles did they have to test to see which ones burned at the exact rate?
This has been planned for years. It could only have been a mathematics expert, Mr. Dobinbo.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's not his name anymore.
Hairbrain.
Mr. Hairbrain.
Stop peeking the microphone.
That's part of the bit. It's part of the bit.
It's in my ear. That's what it is.
And that is how these 3 witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. On the dot. Don't worry about that coincidence.
Well, what a plot! And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we'd like to believe. The previous day, even.
Yeah, I just told you about it. No, that's no victim going to the building, remember?
I could forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this.
Okay.
Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, so the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer.
Someone's.
Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Huh.
Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? Huh? I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report. A Stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Damn.
Order! Prosecutor Soki! What on earth do you mean by that statement?
I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked.
Oh man, this music.
The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my friend learned may be
That
correct,
my learned friend.
that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
He called us smart.
Well, certainly. I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative works alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard.
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend?
You guys aren't friends. I see right through your bullshit.
I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord,
Don't call me
the
Shirley.
defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident?
I mean,
That.
well, not that, because that's the Red-Headed League.
What did I suggest?
I would say the board, because the board has where because I'm just looking to make sure we don't have anything else, but yeah, relating to victims of the Reaper. So it's probably looking at, does that signify? I mean, it's the closest thing we have to not being in just this particularly, because it has all stuff about the victims of, because technically it would be about the incident from 10 years ago involving the professor.
Yeah,
don't
but
think
the Red-Headed League thing was brand new.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite going to be of relevance yet, because that has nothing to do, like, just throwing this out there has nothing to do with the professor killings. As much as it may be tied to that later, we have nothing that says that.
Well,
We can't
it's
think
not
ahead
about
of
the
time.
professor killings. It's about, the case being investigated by the inspector the day prior.
But we're...
All right, yeah. Hit the board.
Gonna try the board. Where's the board? There it is. I'm blind. Please?
I can't say that I find your answer suggestive of anything in particular.
Am I right?
And perhaps it is utterly wrong. That much you have clarified most expertly.
Ow. What? Congratulations, Rionosuke Naruhodo.
You played yourself.
You deserved a reward. You deserve a reward for that expert display. Oh. Did you just draw a room on me, my friend?
I think, Mr. Naruhodo, you should listen to your fiance. That there's one particular piece of evidence that really does stand out in showing what case Inspector Grayson was investigating.
My lord, I have the answer now.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by an inspector prior to the incident?
Do you want to save?
I'm gonna save, because it still doesn't seem right, but I mean, it's the only thing we have left is the Red-Headed League. It's the only other case that we really have. Because nothing else was held by Gregson that would be tying,
Nope.
the other case, but...
I was right.
Okay, I believe
This is why you listen to me.
it seemed like they were trying to allude to something.
When will you learn?
Once again, it seemed like they were alluding to the bigger picture, because they were talking about him being so secretive
I didn't
about
think
everything.
so.
I believe this red hair piece points to the answer.
Because they were talking about that too.
No.
About a person with a wet red wig.
You might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored headpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in the crowd. Except that is in a crowd of gentlemen in the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League?
So, you'd already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
That's a different movie. The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
A deception of what nature, Council?
They've been targeting red-headed men all across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact.
Ah!
My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
Sherlock arrested those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Two redheads?
Now we get them here. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur. We cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks.
Listen to Allie.
Well, that's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
Prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 red-headed league conspirators before me, Prosecutor Sophie.
At once, my lord.
Very good. You have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
Okay. Bye.
Oh boy.
Hopefully that recess means life.
For real.
Getting reinvigorated. To be
Because you, like, oh god, going on 1 health
we just
for the rest of the
finish the case hardcore mode, dude.
God, no.
Just absolute perfection from here on out.
And
They'll bring out the best
you know
in
what you'd
us.
have to do if we want perfection?
What? Listen to you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. The old tale of a man not listening.
Oh, there you are, though.
What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hi, Sherlock.
Hello, Mr. Holmes. Gina?
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? Pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. Jesus.
As was I, possibly more shocked than the both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Holmes.
I was the most shocked.
But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission?
Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on. Dr. Sith. Yeah, Sith, that's right.
I know. Anyway, it seems on the day before
Sith
Lord
Lord.
Van Ziek's discovery... On the day before Lord Van Ziek discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Holmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest were merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
The 2 criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Holmes's suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took 'em in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed, yours truly. Though it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
Don't tar me with the same brush as you, Holmes. That's you.
Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks.
And Cosima. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today? Oh, the answers will soon be revealed. Observe that time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Cousin was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet.
Yeah.
Are you ready then, Miss Usido?
Yes. No.
All right.
Ooh-wee.
2nd of November, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom.
Graceful man.
Welcome back.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. To resume the closed court hearing of Merrick Van Zeeks, here present who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Itogi,
My lord.
have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom.
These two.
Hey there, you freaks. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court.
Whoa.
I was used to his accent from when he was going absolutely
Yeah.
bonkers, and you can keep the other one. I can't remember what his accent
It was Italian,
was.
and he's eating spaghetti, so.
I am Fabian Derazol.
Fabian De Rousseau.
Fabian Derazol. It is in secret. Derazol family from Nasdin from. Oh,
And my name is Peppino De Rossi. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia De Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school from European nobility.
Zozo graduate from Trump's Desert Future Leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Oh, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain.
Why does he sound so evil?
That is what I'm trying to do.
Because he's able to fuck, dog. So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out.
It might be
oui.
the hair, but he kind
You
of
could say
reminds
that.
me of Alistair from Aspinall.
Oh my god.
Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans.
Feel free to add in any of the uhs and the
Yeah.
he has the great plan. If you need that to keep the rhythm going, go for it.
This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Si, capo? I
Not
do
even
not
response.
speak Italian.
Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you.
Eh? Care, you about to tell me one of your grand anecdotes? Eviva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the Alias brothers. This is serious business.
Che bello, there it is. The capo's trump card and the furrow brow. It is deeper, capo, the furrow, and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true?
Oui, c'est ça.
And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you plan to defraud?
Alas, I will explain it.
No, capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The capo here was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like a Trevi fountain. Those dogs, when they say with respect to redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow, and
This is me, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest.
I didn't get to read the rest of that.
The first,
He interrupted me. I didn't even touch the button.
the first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week ago, the plan was to put to operation. It is the same notice in every paper, nothing.
Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled "To the Red-Headed League."
Dude, he's really shoveling that spaghetti in.
I am honored that you have seen it.
It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the dates specified, red-headed hopefuls gather in droves at the park specified in the advertisement.
Including
And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
Oh.
It was your money to France. It was a plan most elegant, no?
Damn.
Well, it
that's
didn't
low.
work, so no, it was most dishonorable. And you fucked it in the end. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick.
Oh, that one hurt!
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk like a coaster's orange barrow.
And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day.
Wait, I have been more red-headed people on Mondays than I would see in the rest of my life.
See, and now every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why were you summoned here today?
Sorry?
The day for trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of those men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph.
Very good. So, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony to the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph.
Of course, we're always ready to help with this.
Okay. Like, that's the Italian dude's supposed to be a man, but he looks like a 10-year-old.
It's very hard to see man when I look at that
Yeah.
character. I'll be quite honest. Could have fooled me.
When was that what says on Reddit that people in the park and the lime streets that day?
But I don't recall the man. Is this a photograph, eh, Capo?
Oh. None, I don't remember him. Obviously he's dead now, but I assure you, you're not in the park.
Allora, this victim is nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in this first place.
They've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain?
Wait, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man.
Nobody low like a day stick at the park. This I can promise.
It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Oof, with this attitude, we get nowhere, huh?
He's really a sulking now.
Ryu, no!
This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh?
That is ridiculous.
There's no question Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that that's when he was killed.
These two are a heck of a pair.
Yeah, they are.
Very well, this makes me proceed with the cross-examination now.
Yes, my lord. I want to check something quick. Once it does the thing, it's gonna go kablowy. Look at them eyes. Okay. The man in the photograph. Okay. Every time I just get more and more, like, just by the end of this game, I'm just gonna be like, every time I do, I was just like, that's all you're gonna hear from me.
It just degrades more and more into just primal sounds.
Not that I want to look at
Instead of
this
a
picture a whole
reference.
lot.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there was only a quick glance at there for a second, and they mentioned the fact of like, now that this man is dead, I was like, could they make the assumption that he's dead if there was no? But there's a lot of blood there. See, maybe that's what we have to push for, because they said in their testimony, because they don't know anything about what's going on.
Yeah.
Though they did just say he's dead now, so I think we should question why they know that he's dead. But to be fair, if you were shown that picture,
He's
I
like,
would
oh,
say
that's a dead guy.
that's a dead man. Yes. But, you know, if I go through it, more than 1,000 red people assembled at the park at 9:03 that day. Remember this photograph? No, I don't remember him, and obviously he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Are you saying he wasn't dead in the park? Is that what you're saying? I'm gonna focus on this one, because this is like, you know, when you say the word dead, that's like a big focus on me word. So let's see what we get by pressing this.
I guess.
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day.
Yeah.
Oh, is that true? My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it is just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe we could recall.
That is not the line, Pepino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him.
I would have said these two had only been shown that photograph and that they'd been told nothing else at all. If I fed them just one other detail about the victim. For example,
His fish and chips.
I mean, listen, that man goes nowhere without his fish and chips.
Yeah.
That
I've
is
never
such
seen
a-
him
That is such a specific
without
fact
fish and chips.
that this
'Cause
it
his-
might be so crazy.
Cause like his name would be too much information. His profession would be too much. Those are like sensitive things, you know. But
Let's
fish
see.
and chips are something that they would have seen him
This
have.
could be so crazy, it just might work. Yeah, because we just talk about like, let's see where this goes. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly?
Well, not really, I was only the head of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips anymore since the caviar and smoked salmon.
Or a spaghetti. Me, I love the spaghetti.
We can tell. Man, that is a hell of a, oh my god, what is it? The word will come to me one day. Stereotype. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I had no idea.
Doesn't make what you said before, Pepino.
Si, capo, si. I say it again and again.
Okay, well, maybe that wasn't the right one, so.
I just realized that's the Mario jump.
It kind of is. A little bit.
I just realized that.
Alright, I'm gonna press this again.
It's like it's literally a spin-off of the Mario jump.
Yeah. Alright, so let's try something
Ah.
else.
Well, if he was being undercover, so
Obviously, it's doing this so we can get something right. But
profession.
go with profession, maybe. It's only appreciated just knowing the man had red hair would help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man was in the red piece was actually a detective?
The man's a photograph. A detective.
Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and tried to investigate incognito.
The fact that Asogi joined in is good.
Sorry, but this changes nothing.
We're going somewhere. Apparently,
Huh.
it changes everything. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
Something to add, Mr. DeRossi?
Okay, see, I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance?
What did he just say about the detective?
Yes, that.
Give me a shot, Pepino. You have said enough already.
But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, "I am an inspector from Scotland Yard."
What?
Oh.
Good Lord!
Well, there's all the info we need.
Box.
That's great.
Order! Explain this false face in your, okay, that, in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park said, "Oh, okay."
There was no such man.
I mean, I can look at the history quick, but
At the park said to us that he was an inspector. Oh.
Well, you're really trying to hide it now, dog.
There was no such man.
Madai, what are you saying, Capo? You've forgotten, eh?
I forgotten nothing. Nobody likes this game to the park.
Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at the many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat at the pasta, no one is a faster.
But you are inferior to me in every other way. So shut up.
Objection.
Oh boy. They're both just done.
It's like, you little shit birds.
Shut up. Is that damage? Is that?
Indeed it is, sir.
Well, there was a man who came to the park and he said there was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. It was someone else.
How can you be so sure?
Because to start with, the face was completely different.
See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner.
No resemblance whatsoever then.
Oh.
Well, you're just living a lie, aren't you? You're a prison warden or whatever that warder.
Sad
whatever they call
eyes,
them.
clean-shaven
You're
face,
an
and
inspector from
a narrow chin.
Scotland Yard. Have you just been like undercover investigating what's gone on for the past 10 years here, my dude?
Huh.
Are you helping Gregson? Like, were they working together?
Who knows?
Huh.
Did he kill Grayson?
I would hope not.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. They took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you're really a detective, show us the proof.
See, the capo here, he doesn't take no nonsense, eh?
But they was well prepared. It's the identification.
Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification?
That is most unconvincing.
Sorry, my lord?
Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question.
Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity?
The papers were fake.
Certo capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh?
I think they were working together. And what happened after he announced that he was a detective?
He became very annoying. He said, you're under investigation. So I took his papers with me and chased them out of the park.
Do you have the papers?
It was fantastico, and look, here is the identification.
Is it Gregson's papers? So you stole it from the man?
He had it coming, he made us very scared. So he took things. But he was not who he said he was.
They don't know the name.
Yeah.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true Inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them.
Do it. Those are Gregson's papers, aren't they?
Now let's return to the witness's testimony.
And we're gonna just give us a second here. Open it. Open it the fuck up. Open it. Do it. I suppose you should see what this what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Well, I can't read shit from here. You're gonna have to zoom in for us, game. Yeah, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it?
Out of interest, what name is given?
Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what?
that- This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me.
But how?
And the department identification number details are all correct as well.
It's one of you known those. Do you mean to say?
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard.
But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. Oh boy. Well, I guess
What
we're
if-
gonna
what
really
if
get down
this
to the
dude
truth next time.
Killed Gregson and took his...
I was gonna say that's the other option, is that either they've been working together for a while
If
with
they were working together, why would he take his identification?
no, and not take, like, literally Gregson was like take this and go over there and help me with the
But
investigation.
even like Gregson would know not to show something in an undercover thing. That's what the judge just said.
That's the point.
Gregson's not dumb.
It's the point.
I think he killed Gregson and
And
took it.
so that he could do his own investigating.
Yeah, and that's why
probably.
the wig is in the place.
That's possible. That is possible. I just,
Ooh.
I don't want to. I don't like that Greg's dead.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. Everyone disliked that.
Everyone disliked that.
Ah.
Ugh.